Hello lovelies, and welcome to Skyrim. Well, almost. Welcome in the birch woods near my house. To all Elder Scroll fans, this will be a familiar sight, as Northern Tamriel is covered in birch trees. Walking through the springy forest inspired me to do some elvish baking. Birch is an extremely hardy tree that can withstand winter and very cold temperatures. Its leaves are edible and healthy and can be used in homemade beauty products. I will show you that in another video soon. And its stem can not only be used for heating, but can also be turned into low-caloric birch sugar. But today we want to bake a treat from the Elder Scrolls Cookbook that you can munch on your next adventure in Skyrim. Birch cookies. As always, I listed all ingredients for you in cups and grams down below in the description box. These are mainly classic sugar cookies with a nutmeg and rum twist that gives them that extra zing. We want to start by mixing the melted or softened butter with the sugar until we have a smooth consistency. Now we add in our egg to hold it all together and a bit of vanilla extract. As always, you can of course use vanilla sugar or real vanilla instead, it really just depends on your preference. Furthermore, we add a pinch of salt, since this always helps to bring out the flavors in sweet baked goods, and a generous amount of nutmeg that makes these cookies so special. We combine all the wet ingredients well and then start to sift in the flour. I always prefer to sift in the flour instead of pouring it in once to achieve a lighter and finer feel to the dough. Then we can mix the flour in bit by bit, and once the ingredients start to bind, we can get our hands involved. I know this sounds weird, but I love the feeling of soft buttery dough when I work with it. It is so satisfying to feel with your own hands your work and effort transforming into something beautiful and delicious that you later on can share with your loved ones to brighten their day a bit. Also, I way too often bake things with sticky dough, so it is a nice change to bake without cursing under my breath. We form the dough into a small disc and wrap it. I try very hard to be as low waste as possible, so I want to avoid cling fall and rather wrap it in my trusted baking sheets. You can find the link below before I put it in the fridge. The butter in the dough now needs to harden a bit, maybe around 1 or 2 hours, before we can shape it easily into this little log shapes that we want to achieve, which gives us time for a nice walk outside in the sunshine, preventively burning the calories that we later undoubtedly will consume. And once we're back, we dust our working surface with flour so the dough doesn't stick to it. And then we're just gonna roll it, best divided in smaller pieces in tiny rolls, each about 2 fingers broad. And now we have to have those rolls horizontally, which I found is easiest to do with some dental floss. Best one without flavor, I only had peppermint flavored one, but the cookies still tasted great. We cut them into little pieces about half a finger long, lay them on our baking tray, and then with some leftover dough form some twigs. Don't worry if the cookies look a bit wonky, we will cover it all up with frosting later and no one will ever know. Now they have to bake for about 10 to 15 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you let them cool down completely before you touch them, otherwise they will crumble into pieces. In the meantime, we can prepare the frosting by mixing melted butter with confectioner's sugar, some vanilla and a dash of rum. Since I live with a Spanish pirate, I was actually out of rum and used homemade pear liquor instead. Let me know if you'd like to see a video on how to make that. Finally, we add in the heavy cream and stir until we have a creamy consistency, with which we can now frost our little birch logs. Get a little fork and just drag it over the frosting to get some more texture into the cookings. The pastry brush that I used actually already did that for me, so I didn't need to do that, but it's an option to make it look more tree-like. To give them that special birch bark look, we dust them with a bit of nutmeg. And just like that, we have our perfect elvish gaming snack ready. Next time we will get witchy and crafty, when I take you with me to plant a witch's herb garden on the balcony, a perfect project if you're interested in cooking, gardening or green witchery but don't have much space. And soon we will meet in my kitchen again to bake a medieval fair favorite, Flammkuchen or tart flambé. I wish you a happy day. See you soon!